Start. Applying these tests, we have no doubt at all that the dispute covered by the first issue referred to the industrial tribunal in the present cases could not possibly be referred for decision to the registrar under section 61 of the Act. The dispute related to alteration of a number of conditions of service of the workman, which relief could only be granted by an industrial tribunal dealing with an industrial dispute. The registrar, it is clear from the provisions of the Act, could not possibly have granted the reliefs claimed under this issue because of the limitations placed on his powers in the Act itself. It is true that Section 61 by itself does not contain any clear indication that the registrar cannot entertain a dispute relating to alteration of conditions of service of the employees of a registered society, but the meaning given to the expression touching the business of the society, in our opinion, makes it very doubtful whether a dispute in respect of alteration of conditions of service can be held to be covered by this expression. Since the word business is equated with the actual trading or commercial or other similar business activity of the society, and since it has been held that it would be difficult to subscribe to the proposition that whatever the society does or is necessarily required to do for the purpose of carrying out its objects, such as laying down the conditions of service of its employees, can be said to be a part of its business. It would appear that a dispute relating to conditions of service of the workmen employed by the society cannot be held to be a dispute touching the business of the society. Para. Further, the position is clarified by the provisions of subsection 4 of section 62 of the Act, which limit the power to be exercised by the registrar when dealing with a dispute referred to him under section 61 by a mandate that he shall decide the dispute in accordance with the provisions of the Act and the rules and bylaws. On the face of it, the provisions of the Act, the rules, and the bylaws could not possibly permit the registrar to change conditions of service of the workmen employed by the society for the purpose of bringing facts to our notice in the present appeals. the rules framed by the Andhra Pradesh government under the Act and the bylaws of one of the appellant banks have been placed on the paper books of the appeals before us. It appears from them that the conditions of service of the employees of the bank have all been laid down by framing special bylaws. Most of the conditions of service which the workmen want to be altered to their benefit have thus been laid down by the bylaws, so that any alteration in those conditions of service will necessarily require a change in the bylaws. Such a change could not possibly be directed by the registrar when under section 64 of the Act. Stop.